Amazing, beautiful people, and welcome back to another first time reaction video. This video has been randomly sent to me quite a few times by a lot of my community as well as my Japanese community. And I don't know what it is, but I've heard that there is a lot of videos from this channel abroad in Japan, link to channels in the description, that I would actually really enjoy. I believe this is a content creator who lives in Japan, who moved out there and does a lot of respectful and amazing videos around Japan and culture in Japan and everything to do with that. And they've recently put out this video that's been popping off everywhere, and a bunch of people have asked me to react to it. As someone with a very large Japanese audience, I mean, Japan is still my #1 demographic in the world and has been since we started YouTube, so thank you so much to all my Japanese audience who watch my videos. I'm very curious about this. Please support the reaction channel by liking and subscribing. The subscriber number is our most important demographic metric, so please press the subscribe button to support this channel. And without more talking from me, let's jump into my first time ever reaction to what is happening to Japan.
Receiving messages from people asking me if Japan is okay, linking a rather ominous sounding video called What is Happening to Japan. It wasn't just the title and thumbnail that were ominous, but the description reading, Is Japan cooked? I've seen a lot of changes and things seem to be getting worse. In an era where I'm now being sent daily AI videos and photos that sorely misrepresent Japan from bizarre and questionable accounts, it made an almost refreshing change to be sent something produced by a human being. And more crucially, a creator who is one of the biggest foreign content creators living in Japan, with 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube alone and hundreds of thousands more across other social media platforms. In fact, the same video had been chopped up into half a dozen videos without dialogue and shared on Instagram and TikTok, amassing over 3 million views in just a matter of days. Now,
I am a little bit worried here, because the fact that this creator is being blurred out as well as their titles and everything, their handle, makes me think that we're about to see something quite negative. So I'm already a little bit worried.
I was especially concerned, not just as somebody living in Japan or Tokyo, but actually this street where the thumbnail's taken is somewhere I walk down once or twice a week in Nakameguro. One of my favourite coffee shops is just around the corner, and in fact, this video I made earlier in the year was filmed on the same street, albeit at a different angle, not showing the abandoned house. And not to mention, I've actually been living in the neighbourhood myself for the last 3 years. And when I went to take the thumbnail for my video, I quickly noticed a few interesting differences between my original ungraded photos and the thumbnail of
okay. I am also noticing a few things. Okay.
a video. It is a rather fascinating game of spot the difference. So naturally I was a bit concerned to find out what is happening
Those circles
to Japan,
are also
especially
exactly
as over
the same.
3 million people had seen this message. For half of the runtime of the video, the creator in question walks through Kabukicho in Shinjuku, Japan's biggest nightlife district, with a reputation for being dirty and gritty, filming bin bags, litter, and homeless people. In the short-form content, the same videos show the litter being intercut at times with foreign tourists, who are queuing unremarkably to take a photo of the Toho Godzilla statue, although the angle of the statue was left out of the footage. And it's at this point I need to reiterate, if you don't know Japan, Kabukicho or Shinjuku can be a bit of a shock.
They left the statue out of the footage? Alright, okay. Interesting. I've never been to Japan, by the way. I've never been. I get invited a fair bit. I've wanted to go over there for work for quite a while now, because I work with quite a few Japanese companies and Japanese animation studios and artists and record labels. And I really want to go over and meet a lot of these people that I've been talking to online. But I just haven't had the chance to. But hopefully soon I'll be able to.
It's the equivalent of walking through downtown LA or Soho in London. And in recent years, it's been gentrified more than perhaps anywhere in Tokyo. It used to be genuinely quite dangerous. I remember 10 years ago, I made a hotel reservation there and had to cancel it after there was a Yakuza shootout quite literally across the road from the hotel. Jeez, the area is also synonymous with Tokyo's homeless population as far back as 2003, when the film Tokyo Godfathers shone a spotlight on the long-standing homeless population, which, according to the statistics, is thankful.
Never seen Tokyo Godfathers, however, loads of people have told me that it is a movie that I need to watch.
Going down.
It is on my list. I would love to watch
today, compared to 10 years ago, there are far less homeless people. But crucially, Kabukicho and Shinjuku doesn't represent Tokyo, it doesn't represent Japan, but if you wanted to make Japan look cooked, it would be the first place you would go, pull out your camera and hit record. The other half of the runtime in these videos was dedicated to Nakameguro, a trendy district that's historically one of Tokyo's most artistic neighbourhoods, and with a recent history of graffiti, both artistic and just tagging, where people just spray paint their name. A few years ago, I think it was 2019, there was quite a lot of graffiti, and the local schools got together to paint over it, and then the graffiti came back again. But when Japanese TV made a video on it, interviewing locals, interestingly, they didn't intercut it with shots of Asia's biggest nightlife district and call it "What is Happening to Japan." They called it "Residents Express Discomfort at 37 graffiti sites found around Nakameguro station." And maybe that's why, despite having twice the number of subscribers, they only got 100,000 views, instead of almost 500,000. Silly traditional media, attempting to present news in an objective manner in 2025.
This is the issue that you are seeing so heavily in like today's world with news agencies as well. Because news agencies, bad ones, will see like social media influencers doing these kind of false it's become all too common to just shout and scream and make everything sound way worse than it actually is in order to get people to click, right? And the issue you never want to have is news agencies doing that. But because they see it working, sadly, a lot of them are starting to do it as well, which makes them unreputable, and it's a bit of a shame. They need to, like, I'm happy that this news agency didn't do that.
And so at this point, you might be thinking, okay, right, so what's happened to Japan? What happened next? Now lean in. Come closer. Come over. That was it. That was literally it. In a country of 120 million people, they were all cooked because of some bin bags in a red light district and some spray paint on a wall down 6 or 7 streets in the capital city.
Oh,
the YouTube video was 15 long, stupid minutes I'll never get back. It was the short form content that really concerned me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't believe it. I can't believe an entire country. Oh no. Oh, my fellow Japanese brothers and sisters who watch all my videos, I absolutely love you guys. I'm sorry to hear this. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My word.
It's been a scary time when more people now than ever before learn things about countries and cultures from 30 to 60 second videos without context, and where the more sensationalist the videos are, the more you will be rewarded for it. People are angry, both in Japan and around the world.
People are just addicted to clout. They're addicted to views. People create content. So many content creators these days will literally just follow whatever gets them clicks. It doesn't matter if it's respectful, kind, it got any kind of integrity. If it gets them clicks, they will do it. And it's a shame that that has become such a standard amongst so many content creators, a lot of whom I used to heavily respect. It's such a shame. But don't worry. You're never going to get that on this channel.
World at the moment, and this video, or these videos, seem to be exceptional rage bait that made a lot of people angry. Without any exposition on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, they showed a series of awful images in a densely populated area, and if you look at the comment sections, particularly on those shorts, you will see the most vile, hateful, angry comments that you can find. A creator isn't responsible for what people comment on their content, but subtle choices, the way the images and clips are cut and edited together with the message that goes with it, can have a very powerful effect. As somebody who's edited over 300 videos, I'm more aware of that than anyone. The most unsettling thing is it's never been easier to monetize sensationalist slop content. And if you do it, you'll be richly rewarded for it. Case in point, this video, the creator pointed out, made $1,500, which is a seriously impressive amount of money.
Why did the creator share
filming
that?
some bin bags and some spray paint in a video that would have taken a matter of hours to record. And this is one of the things that worries me the most, the monetization of slop sensationalist content. That's one thing I want to discuss a little bit later on.
I haven't watched a ton of this amazing creator's channel, but it gets recommended a lot. Loads, actually, by my community abroad in Japan. And I have to admit, I wasn't really sure what kind of content I was going to be getting. And a lot of the videos are very long, which is why I haven't reacted to them. It's a bit harder to do reactions to long-form content. But I have to say, I absolutely love this person. I think they are incredibly respectful. They do an amazing job at like debunking and showcasing just the truth and the seriousness of all of this, and I really love this video. I feel like this person is just a very genuine person.
At this point I thought, look, just don't say anything, bite your tongue, move on. But when I saw millions upon millions of views people angry, a current backdrop of sensationalist slop content taking over, and a rise in anti-foreign sentiment here in Japan,
Yeah.
I snapped. I had to say something. I chose to bring attention to it publicly. And I quickly received 2 replies. The first was from a guy who posted a photo of some graffiti he saw in 1993, pointing out graffiti has always been around in Tokyo. And the other comment was from the content creator herself, who told me to take it down. This was now a creator-on-creator matter, and they were just a humble creator.
I'd appreciate if this post was taken down. It only leads to creator-on-creator harassment. It's fine to have a different opinion on things, but I've lived in Asia just as long as you, and I'm also allowed to have an opinion on Japan. Also, why does it matter if I film the video with a GoPro? I don't have a film crew as you do. This is one of the things that I find mind-blowing. It is this idea that I have this opinion. Right, let's say right now, let's just simplify it. I'm right here with my opinion. This is my opinion. This person comes over. This person says, hey, I don't agree with your opinion. And then I turn to them and go, you need to remove that opinion. You can't be having that opinion. That opinion is not allowed. Take that opinion down, because that opinion against my opinion is the wrong opinion. If I don't understand it, if I have an opinion, this person gets to have an opinion about my opinion. And I should be respectful about theirs, and they should be respectful about mine, and the same with this person. That is how an opinion works. We must respect and learn to respect each other's opinions. One opinion does not matter more than another one.
With a GoPro, somehow conveniently forgetting they were one of the biggest foreign content creators in Japan. Now, I think if you are a large content creator, both literally and metaphorically, you should be willing to accept a degree of scrutiny. I know I do every time I release a video, people attack me for various things. And if I see something that I believe misconstrues reality, then I'm going to call it out as well. Impressively, no less than 6 hours later, she'd shot, edited, and released an entire video about what she'd called an attack, calling me a gatekeeper. I was accused of painting Japan as a utopia. I was accused of excluding her from my friendship group, somebody I've never met, never spoken to. I was accused of being grumpy, maybe because her viewers had claimed that she was more attractive than me and less grumpy. No, I'm not making this up. This is actually a real video. And finally, I was called the C word, just to add the cherry on top. It is, ironically, one of the most bizarre, personal, rambling attacks that I've ever had. And I think it is really pointless. It degrades any sort of debate or conversation, and it's the least important thing that I want to talk about today. And for some clarity, I really don't dislike this person. I dislike their content, not just this video, but some other videos, which I'll discuss. I know I can be sarcastic and silly, but I'm genuinely not a malicious person. I quite honestly wish her well. And I ask you if you disagree with her, if you disagree with me.
I understand why so many people have recommended this video to me now. It is a very different video. I don't even know. I don't expect my reaction to do well. This is quite a different video to be recommended to me, but I totally understand why. This is a content creator who's obviously very passionate and in love with Japan and the culture, lives in Japan, as someone who was quite upset with someone falsifying this image of Japan, and when they give their own take on it, has been completely washed over in terms of their opinion. Because for some reason in today's age, one person's opinion matters and another person's doesn't. And I think I completely understand why people have sent this one over to me. I think it's a shame that there's been any kind of negative comments so significantly directed towards someone who is doing the exact same thing that the other person is doing, but in a completely different light. You know, I don't understand why we're not allowed to have a discussion anymore.
That you always comment in a respectful manner and don't share any hatred online. There's already enough of that going around. And I'm making this video for 2 reasons. Number one, there are much bigger issues in play
Always
here
be
around
respectful.
Content creation, around Japan, and I want to discuss those. And second of all, some people see it as me bullying another creator because they don't understand why I would bring this up. And honestly, I don't do this sort of thing lightly. The only time I think I've ever called out a creator was Mr. Beast last year when he partnered with Logan Paul, a man who did awful things in Japan, which I had to discuss publicly on Japanese national television. I didn't enjoy making that video or the attention or scrutiny it brought me. I hate myself sometimes, that I can't keep my mouth shut on certain things. But when you feel something is profoundly wrong in here, you have to talk about it. I've held my tongue previously on other content.
I absolutely completely agree, by the way. In fact, if you follow me on Twitter or X, and if you watch my One Punch Man reactions, including tonight's one, or if it's already gone out at this point, you will see me doing exactly that. I think that there are times when you don't need to talk up, and there are times when you absolutely do. And I think especially when it is hurting people, that is when you should always speak up. You should never let a bully get away with anything. You should always speak up against any kind of bully, any kind of bullying. And bullying can be in the simplest form of someone who is just putting anybody down in any way or causing anyone harm or pain. And I think if that's ever happening, you should always speak up against it, you know?
That this creator has produced. A few years ago, a friend showed me a clip of a video in which the same person walked through an economically deprived part of Tokyo filming homeless people under the guise of showing the real Japan, filming the most vulnerable people in society and posting it online. Like, I've had Japanese friends tell me this sort of stuff makes them feel uncomfortable. Beyond that, it sort of portrays Japan as this magical place where there's a barrier between us, where if you speak Japanese, they will bounce around, they will scream and shout, it will cure depression. As if the entire country is one big social experiment waiting to be exploited. And I worry in an era of nuisance content creators coming to Japan doing things that are unspeakably bad. They might see this sort of content and go, wow, you get $1,500 for that. Maybe start to wave cameras around in the faces of homeless people, potentially leading to even more nuisance content. And when the cost of making such content is nothing, but the profits are extraordinary, the only real thing stopping you from doing that is morals. And as we've seen time and again with streamers in Japan, morals are often in short supply. And coupled with the fact there's rising anti-foreign sentiment in Japan, it makes me concerned and uncomfortable. So what are the real issues facing Japan? What is happening to Japan? In the last few weeks, I've been travelling around the country, filming videos. I've been to Sendai, Nagano, Nagoya, Gifu, Okinawa, and spending time with the locals out there, talking with them, hearing their concerns. I can assure you, none of them care about a fucking bin bag in Shinjuku.
And none of them care about a fucking bin bag. I really like this guy. I like this guy. I feel like I gel with a lot of his like personality and opinions. I think you can tell this is someone who is cool-headed, and there's not at one point in this video where I feel like there's any kind of like harassment or attacking or anything going on. It's someone who has clearly got their head on their shoulders and is just countering points. I like him. And once again, you can see there is a genuine love for the people and the culture of Japan. And I think that's all that matters, you know? It is whether or not your content is respectful towards the people that are featured in that content. Whether it's content reacting to music or content reacting to anime. Are you being respectful to the people featured, the people who created, the people who worked on it? Whether your comment is positive or negative really doesn't matter. As long as you are being respectful when you're being negative, then you can have that negative opinion. And I think when you can see that you have someone who is clearly taking advantage and glorifying a situation in a negative light in order to make money, and someone who is simply saying that isn't right, you can see where the love and respect is and isn't in effect. And I think that's what we're seeing demonstrated here.
Spray paint on a wall in Nakameguro. The two most notable things are depopulation and a cost of living crisis. And funnily enough, while this stuff was happening, I was on an island in Okinawa interviewing the locals on how depopulation has affected their island, where once there were hundreds of people, today there are 50, and this has obviously affected island life. And quite honestly, I would much rather be editing that video than talking about this. But it will take me weeks to edit that video and do the islanders' story justice. And this takes me to the real crux of the matter, the thing that worries me the most. In the same time that it will take to produce this video, I could go out and film 50 of these videos, make a lot more money with a lot less effort. It is increasingly hard to compete when you're producing videos to a higher standard, when you have to fact check everything. The creator of this video claimed it took 50 hours to produce this video, a claim I find to be, quite frankly, baffling. I'm not sure where the 50 hours went. And you might think, well, he does sound kind of jealous now. Maybe she's right. Maybe he's just not getting the views. And I say far from it. I could go out and make this content in one afternoon in Tokyo. What I'm saying is social media platforms don't care. They don't.
I don't think jealousy is this is an opinion that not many people agree with me on, but I don't think jealousy is necessarily a negative thing. I'm jealous of so many content creators who do like similar content or better content or worse content, in my own opinion. Of course, I don't like saying that, but yeah, and make a lot more money and get a lot more views. And I'm incredibly jealous, but I use that jealousy as ammunition, as motivation. If I ever see someone doing something I want to be doing, and I'm like, oh man, I'm so jealous you were able to do this, then it motivates me. I want to achieve that. I don't sit there and go, oh, I'm so jealous and just be angry. I sit there and go, how did they do that? I want to do that. So I don't think jealousy is necessarily a long thing. Like the fact that this person was able to go record a few streets, put up a thumbnail and make that much money. Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm absolutely jealous. But at no point does me being jealous of the fact they're able to make that money make me, A, want to be them, because I would never make that kind of content, or B, actually, no, just, want to be them, I guess.
Reward accuracy. They don't reward nuance or objective reason. They reward clicks, they reward attention, they reward
I'd rather be proud of the stuff I'm
Journalistic
leaving behind.
integrity really doesn't count for much online, unfortunately, to an almost dystopian degree. Some criticisms levelled at me is that I also make sensationalist content and that I only show the nice side of Japan, the squeaky clean, rose-tinted spectacle version of the country. And to that I would say there's a big difference between sensationalist content and clickbait titles and thumbnails. I hate having to pull a stupid face. I hate my thumbnails and titles. But it is simply a matter of survival on an increasingly crowded platform that doesn't share your content unless it has a high click-through rate. And I try to make up for the stupid faces and titles by delivering content that does the subject matter justice. And the claim that I show only the over-romanticised utopian version of Japan is simply ridiculous.
This is a comment that I get on my own videos. This is something I've actually been seeing with my One Punch Man reactions, where people have been saying that I'm not giving my genuine opinion. I'm not saying what I really feel. And I think people really misunderstand the idea of glamorification and respectfulness. And it's weird that those two are like painted with the same brush. Like, for example, if I don't like this, right, and I simply say like, there's two ways of saying it, right? I can go, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. This is absolutely awful. This is dreadful. This is disgusting, right? And that will get clicks, and people will watch that, and people will say, damn, this guy's crazy, or whatever, and it will do really well. But if I go, I'm not really a big fan of this. I can see what they were trying to do. What they have done is very good. You can see they put a lot of effort in here, but overall I'm not really feeling it. I think they failed a little bit here and they failed a little bit there, but I'm sure that wasn't their own fault. And I imagine it was because of this and because of this that they did that. But overall, you see the difference? No one cares about the second one. It won't do well for views. No one cares. And that is not glamorification. That is a respectful negative opinion. And I think people often see respectful negative opinions as glamorification, and it gets confusing. And I feel like maybe that's what's happening here with Abroad in Japan.
Does this look romanticised? Is this a utopia? Does that look romanticised? Is this a utopia? But do I walk through economically deprived parts of Tokyo with a GoPro? No, I don't. And I'm sorry if that is the only definition of showing the dark side of Japan that you have. I cover the matters that I genuinely believe are affecting Japan the most. And in fact, I've been speaking with a homeless shelter about doing a documentary, but it's a serious topic, and these are people's lives, and I need to tackle that carefully.
Exactly.
If you want to watch something about Japan's homeless population, Life Where I'm From has made a fantastic documentary series on the subject. I would urge you to go and watch them. I will say, I've felt sort of disheartened this year in general about so many things, about the state of the world, and this is sort of to the side of this issue. As you may know, I've been living here over a decade now, about 13 years, and I've been extremely lucky to be here. And I've always tried to show Japan in a fair and balanced way, particularly more rural areas that I love, which I've been lucky to call home. And more I'm seeing comments and discourse online that I'm just a foreign guy living in Japan. I don't understand the culture. I'm a foreign guy exploiting Japan. And I've had that claim thrown at me more in the last 12 months.
I really feel like people who are going to make comments like this need to understand the person they are making these comments about. Like, you can tell that they come from no kind of background knowledge, no kind of anything. Because clearly that is not true. It's just genuinely firing hatred and harassment at a person without doing any kind of background knowledge into that person. You know? He lived there for over 13 years. I don't know how old Abroad in Japan is. It looks like he might be in his 30s. That is a large portion of someone's life and a majority of his adult life, right? That is a very big amount of time to be in a country. How is that what anyone said? It is mind-blowing. Clearly do your research before you talk about someone to understand whether or not that is what you are saying.
Than in the last 12 years combined. To the point, it has sort of sucked the energy out of me a bit and made me wonder, what am I doing? Does what I do matter anymore? No matter how many documentaries I make, no matter what I shine a spotlight on, no matter who I meet or what I do, just a foreign guy exploiting Japan. And I felt lost about what am I doing here? I was far happier as a smaller creator without the burden of expectations, without people overanalyzing everything I said or did. And to be frank, the only thing that keeps me doing this is knowing I'm very lucky to have an amazing audience of people. I know you're not just numbers on a view count, you're actually real people, and I'm very grateful I've got to meet so many of you. I sort of need to know, if you're watching, that I'm not going mad here. If there's one thing to take away from this video, it's to remember, on the road ahead, whatever the algorithm throws at you, it's never been more important to call out things that are fundamentally wrong. What you choose to click on has honestly never mattered more. And unfortunately, much of the time, you don't get a choice on what you click on some of the short form content. We can look at the awful things that are curated for us on screen and accept that as reality, or we can go out into the world and make sense of it for ourselves. But we must remember the bigger picture, because if we don't, I think bad things are going to happen. Beyond this. I don't want to be negative, but I have to speak my mind, otherwise what's the point of it all, right? And the good news is I'm looking forward to getting back to many wonderful videos that I've shot in the last few days on an island with Natsuki, rummaging through a forest. There's lots of great things to come, so thank you. Thank you as always.
Alright, before I say anything, please do me a favor. In my description, you will find the link to Abroad in Japan. Please go check out their channel. They made this video. They put this video together. They make many, many wonderful videos. Please go support them. Go check out their video. Go show them all the love in the world. This is an incredible human being with a good heart. It's very plain to see. They deserve the love and the positive attention. I'm very proud of the community we have here. There's a lot of good people on this channel, on both our channels. So I would like it very much if those good people went and showed some love to a person who very much needs it. I have to say, the world can feel quite dark these days, and it can be quite troublesome, and it can be quite negative and heavy. These are sadly increasing feelings that a lot of people are experiencing. And I do want to say that one of the issues I am finding is the good people, the kind people, the sweet people are often the quieter people. The vocal minority, I would say, are negative and full of a lot of hate a lot of the time. And in a room, let's say you have 1,000 people in a room, you might have 30 loud people that would scream and shout, and they kind of control the narrative of that 1,000 people, right? And I really feel like that's what we're seeing online now. We're seeing it so much where you're getting so many loud, negative people who are just screaming hatred. And because the nicer people, the people with hearts, are much more quiet and don't want to get involved and we just want to live quiet lives and just can't be bothered with the hassle, they take a step back. This is something that I myself am incredibly guilty of as well. There's so much drama and hassle, especially in the anime community, that I don't get involved with. And I've said from day one, I'm not a drama channel. I don't get involved with drama. I stay out of it. I'm respectful to every creator and how they want to create content. And that is something I've prided myself on for a while. But I'm learning that it's not something I'm so proud of anymore. And I feel like it's more important than ever for those good and kind, quiet people to find a voice, to speak up. Because we are only going to be able to shine a light on the darkness if we start using the light. And we're so scared of clicking that button, of turning it on, that we don't. We just sit there in the darkness. And I think we are seeing that with Abroad in Japan with like the negative comments. And you need to remember, for content creators, those negative comments stand out a lot more. I myself recently have had a lot more than I've ever had. And they do stand out a lot. And no matter how thick your skin is, it's going to get you. And the only way you can fight against that is the quieter, nicer voices, the people who appreciate people. You need to speak out. You need to show support. Because otherwise, the only thing people are going to see, like Abroad in Japan, is that darkness. And that's going to consume them. This was a very sad video. I feel very sorry for this creator. I could tell that this was just someone who didn't want to make these videos. Who was very sad with a situation. I didn't expect to have tears in my eyes looking at a grown man have tears in his while he is talking about the content he wants to make and how he's feeling about his channel. This is a good person. I can see why people ask me to react to this. Yeah, I'll share this on my main channel as well. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. Just go show this person all the love in the world. They just seem like a really kind person. And if you are one of the people who sits there quietly sometimes, who doesn't want to get into an argument, you don't need to get into an argument, to just simply say how you're feeling. And that's it. I hope you all enjoyed this reaction. Thank you so much for sharing a video that definitely needed to be viewed. Yeah, and if there's any more videos from abroad in Japan you'd like me to react to, let me know. I'd happily check out more of this wonderful person's videos. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have an amazing day. And as always, be respectful, be kind, and you will see me in the next video.